Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am here finally showing you the full planner lineup for 2023. So I have here basically what is going to be my 2023 lineup. I don't actually have every single bound system that I have in here, like just starting right here. Like I have several versions or like volumes of this book, but it's representative of what I'm going to be using for 2023. And I have done setup videos for just about all of them except for this top one. This is going to be one I'm focusing on in 2023, and we'll get into that as I go into the video. But I wanted to run you through my entire system, and I'm going to start actually from the bottom and work my way up. So to do that, I'm just going to move this. So this very first one is going to be part of my classic, sorry, not my classic, my catch-all system. And this planner, as well as this planner, are like going to be working in conjunction with each other. So these are going to be my daily pages that I'll use for my catch-all personal planning. So what I've decided in 2023 is basically to simplify, and I always have the option of kind of splitting things out into sections, but I want to be able to actually try to put everything back together and keep it like very condensed into like one section. And so this system right here, the daily pages, will be what I use for everything that's not work and not memory keeping for my two daughters. And so for the first half of the year, I have this set up to basically go until June of 2022. It is outdated big size, letter size tool pages you can see here, and I'm just going to use it. So I'm going to track on here in 2023 all of my personal related stuff that includes social media, faith, budget, food logging, wellness, physical health stuff. All the things will be tracked on here somehow, and I will over time, of course, adapt it and transition and change things up as I need to, but I do plan to use this for the first half of 2023. And then when I run out of those pages, I do have set up in here some more daily pages. Now this again is tool size, letter size pages, but these letter size pages I ended up cutting down. The top part of this, when I cut it down, it was basically like the month at a glance, like little calendars like the previous and future months. And so I cut that part out just because these are outdated pages, and so now it ends up like you can kind of see the month kind of hanging out here, but it ends up being basically an undated page. And so I'll just date as I go along. And then here the big size pages here were a daily on one page, and then here is a daily on two pages. And so I have a lot more room to again keep track of everything personal, and so that's what I'm going to use to begin with. Now, I also have, in conjunction to all of that, my classic size like dashboard like weekly layout that I have already like started putting in all the events for 2023. This is the planner that sits on my desk. It's just propped up like literally like right here. I know you can't see it, but I can definitely see it. It's propped up right here, so that way I can keep track of all the major events. It's basically our family calendar, and so I use that to keep track of all the events. Those events end up on here, and then I keep track of all my tasks and things like that on here. And then as like tasks on here end up not getting done or needing to be moved, I will move it to the dashboard side right here, so that way I can keep track of those major tasks, and then continue to kind of like just move tasks back and forth between the weekly and the daily. So that's the first part of my system, my weekly / daily personal catch-all. Okay, so just shifting that to the side then, trying to keep everything organized here. The second part of my system is going to be the other functional planner that I plan to use. I was planning to initially like combine work with everything else, but I do take a lot of notes at work, and I work in higher ed, and so there's a lot of like FERPA information, so private information that I just can't show on screen, and I love to be able to do flip throughs after the pin of everything. And so I do have a separate work planner just so that way I can take all the notes without worrying about censoring myself for doing the flip throughs. And so this is a coil bound planner that I cut down to be able to convert to disc bound, and it is a classic vertical layout. It was initially an 18-month planner, but I did keep all of the dividers in here, and you know, all the dividers for like 2022, since that's when the planner started, are here in the back somewhere. But I did decide just to start this in January. So the very first section here is going to be January 2023. And in here, I keep basically my work hours, and then I just write, again, all the notes. And so this is just for me to be able to use up these supplies. Since I purchased it, I wanted to be able to use it. So this is my work planner where I take all of my work notes and, you know, all the things I need to do for teaching and advising and all the administrative stuff that comes with working in higher ed. So personal catch-all, work planner. Now the third part of my planner lineup for 2023 are these two. Now these are two separate books. This first one is going to be for baby Rose. Baby Rose was born just like a few weeks ago, and so I am starting a baby book for her. I did when Sophia was born. She is going to be turning 6 at the beginning of January. I started the Happy Planner basically because of Sophia. I wanted to have a like scrapbook light. I would say like not something that was super intensely scrapbook like where I'm doing like full 12 by 12 spreads, just because I like to take way more photos than that. But I started a memory book for her when she was born, and so I'm doing the same for Rose. So these are the two memory books that I'll be using for the girls. So for both of them, I have, like for baby Rose, I'm going to be using a classic vertical, and so this is set up to basically use for her. I did set this up in a previous video. In fact, I set up all of these planners in a previous video, so I'll link those in the description so you can take a look at that. But her planner, this memory book will be a combination of like planning, so there will be like notes and events and things like that that are happening in her life, but also just like journaling about like what her first year of life is all about, all the photos, all the things that you would do with like a memory planner or a memory journal. And then here is Sophia's like memory book. So in here I do have basically a classic horizontal planner, and so for Sophia, she's a little bit older. She's again going to be turning 6 at the beginning of January. One of the things I want to be able to do with her is to be able to get her to start learning about days and weeks and like how far things are out in advance. And so I want her to be able to come in here and do the decorating, you know, just try to get into having some fun with like planning, so that way she can keep track of her own events. I think she's old enough to like at some basic level, you know, be able to use some stickers to designate like what she's done, things like that. We have started trialing or like, you know, experimenting with like doing some of this, not like on planner on paper, but like just kind of talking out like, you know, things are like 5 days from now or 4 days from now. And so now she has like a visual version of it, and so we're going to be doing that. So she's going to, I think I'm going to give her control of like trying to put down stickers and things like that, but I also want to be able to use up the pressed floral supplies that I have and kind of keep this one be very consistent. And so she'll lay down stickers, but I'll also go in and write journaling, put photos, and like put in florals and all the other things to kind of keep track of her week. And then the second half of this is going to be like a classic vertical. And so here I do want to do like, just like with Rose, like a very traditional like memory keeping, like memory journaling kind of thing. So like this will be a chance for me to kind of like lay down the photos, write the journaling, all that type of stuff. So like this part will be more planner and more for Sophia, and this will be more memory keeping and more for me and like decorating. So that's two classic verticals, basically 3 classic verticals that I'll be using for 2023. Right, and then the last thing here, this one is what I'm going to be focusing on in 2023. This is one of, let me see, 3, 4, 5, 7. This is one of 6 or 7 like giant books that are kind of like marked as part of my home binder, home management system. And so I have this set up right now. This one is the first of it, and this is actually the one that doesn't have any notes, honestly, like or like any. What am I trying to say is it doesn't have any like sections, but this one I set up initially as like a goals planner, and so I'll definitely at the beginning of January kind of be getting in here and like putting together some of the stuff for January, like my one little word for the year and that kind of thing. But I also have in here like some stuff that I just kind of need to clean out, but it's mostly my tickler file. So I want to be able to go in here and organize this and kind of put it together. But it is one of many like I like to keep all of my like planners on classic size disc, so I broke it down just because this was all that fit on this disc. But this is one of many, and so this one is, like I said, the tickler file where I keep like physical like paper copies of things that I need to reference regularly. I am going to go ahead and I think move some of this stuff into my my weekly dashboard. This thing on a week by week basis. So I'll probably like have again like a setup to kind of like remember to check this, to move stuff over there. But then the rest of my home binding system, I've shown in previous videos, and I have it like kind of set up, but I don't want to like pull it down. But I do have like basically like 3 volumes that look very similar to this. It just has different covers and discs and things like that. But it has all of our medical notes, like vital information, like copies of like important documents, house notes, chores, meals. It has like our family budget. It has travel notes. It has fun notes like for TV shows and movies that we're watching together as a family. It has like all the stuff. And so one of the things that I tried to do, I think it was at the beginning of 2022, and I just fell off right away, was like try to update my home binder. But 2023 is my year. I definitely want to focus on this. So that's why I minimized everything else here. It's basically personal, work, and then my 2 memory books. And then like the rest of it will be like this stuff. So I want to be able to like leave this on my desk and try to like update these sections. What I did in 2022 that I feel like didn't really work well was like I decided to pull like one single section and just try to focus on that one single section for the month. For 2023, what I'm going to do is just work on any section that I want to. As long as it's in the home binder, I want to be able to touch it on a regular basis. I'll try to like push to like do it daily, but you know, definitely trying to do it at least once a week, where I'm going into whatever section I feel like at the moment and updating it, so that way I can keep it like current. And you know, I just want to be able to like have a system that is working for me in terms of my home. And home being like, again, like all the things I mentioned, like medical records, chores, budget, all the things related to our family. I want to be able to put that together. And I don't really think of that as a planner per se, but it is just kind of like managing our whole life. I also, in addition to like those home management binders, I do at the end of 2023 plan to pull out again my holiday planners. So I do have a planner for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas that I'll be using towards the end of 2023. So those are also in my setup, but this is like the representative one of what my whole home binder system setup looks like. And I will be spending, I think, a lot of time, a lot of videos, a lot of like trying to break down the process for myself. And what helps for me is being able to talk it out. And so I'll probably record quite a few videos related to like how I'm setting up or like updating some of my home binder stuff. So if you're interested in doing like a more functional, like how to manage your life kind of series, I'm definitely like going to be doing something like that. I also have plans in 2023 to finish up like my positive psychology series and going back into doing the planner therapy series. So just like being a lot more like intentional and functional, using my planners obviously as planners. These 2 are planners, but also getting into memory keeping and then getting into like just organizing my life. And so that's my planner lineup. Yeah, that's my planner lineup. There's really, to me, only 2/3, if you count Sophia's planners here. The rest are like just for either decorative memory keeping, or you know, like managing my life, like I said. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to minimizing in 2023, using up all of my supplies as always. I do want to try to get in and do decorative planning, but I am going to focus in 2023, at least on this channel with YouTube, with not doing plan with me's. If I do plan with me's, they're going to be in like YouTube shorts version, like it will be just like shorter videos that I upload randomly. But I'm going to focus on being more like functional. All of this type of stuff will be more functional, and like talking about like how to's and like how to manage your life and that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you are subscribed. Again, that's going to be my focus for 2023, is like being able to complete some series that I started and start some new things to try to keep myself accountable really for getting these things done. So that's my planner lineup. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, bye guys.